Well, all right. It is Thursday, May 23. It's just about 11:30 Pacific Standard Time, and wrapping up my day. Today was an interesting day. Really, it wasn't actually until the very last moments of my live stream that I think I kind of sort of figured out what the market was doing today. But I just completely was blind to it the whole entire day and was really just kind of confused. And for starters, for anyone that has watched me before, I typically trade on tick charts. But lately, the past couple of weeks, the tick charts just haven't been producing results the way they usually do when they're consistent. And when I say that, it's because I put up a tick chart, for example. Here's a tick chart here. What I usually do is I look for second entries on tick charts where every second entry is working for my certain predetermined profit target. And then I'll trade on those charts. And lately, I can't even find any charts to trade off of. Like I might find one or two in the pre-market leading or even between like market open and 10 Eastern. And because I usually don't trade that system till after 10 Eastern. And lately, I can't even get a chart to stay good until 10 Eastern because what I do is once a tick chart gets a second entry that doesn't work for my profit target, then I just throw that chart away and I usually move on to the next one. But the last number of days, weeks, I start my day, I find a tick chart or two. I can't find any others. And then inevitably, those tick charts are getting losses and not trades that I even take, but then I can't trade the chart anymore. That's my strategy. That's my system that I use for what I refer to as the BS system, which is because my brother trades it. So so the BS system just hasn't been it lately. It hasn't even given me a chance to trade it. So considering that, left to my own devices, trading the 1 minute chart is what I've been doing in the meantime. And I'm hoping that the tick charts will start being good again to work with. And then I can go back to using that system in combination with trading on the 1 minute. But it hasn't been there lately. So it hasn't been an option. Before, I would just not trade for the day. But now that I'm using the 1 minute chart, I'm continuing to trade. But we can see, I continue to have just not good trading days when I don't have good tick charts. So it's kind of telling, I was a 81% trader when I was having tick charts that I could trade with. And now I'm back down to a 78% trader overall when the tick charts aren't, there for me for my system. So today was the last day for the 90% Apex promo. It ends at midnight Eastern tonight. So because of that, it really, honestly, every time there's a 90% discount, I have these days where it creates a gambling mentality. And the thought process is literally just, I'll take more risks because if anything goes wrong, I'll just replace those accounts for super cheap. They're $16 each. And today I was trading evaluation 43 and 44 together. And my thought process was, I'll just replace them. Those are the two accounts I'm trading today. And if I blow up, then $16.70 for each account. And easy to replace and just continue on having the same number of accounts for the rest of the month. And because of that, I was just trying things, trying speculative trades. And really it turned into a day of just trying things with the Bollinger Bands, which is new for me. I just, since yesterday, been having the Bollinger Bands on my chart. And so just trying things that have worked for me in sim trading, things that I've just been observing. And so I figured, okay, well, today's a great day to put it to the test because if it goes terribly wrong, then I just spend another $34 and back in action, right? Exactly where I left off. So it's interesting, Apex does say that they're trying to deter people from a gambling mentality, but their 90% promo inspires a gambling mentality, at least with the evaluations, right? So it's kind of a two-sided double-edged sword. You know, how genuine are they when they say they're trying to enforce the rules more on the PAs because they don't want to have a gambling mentality, but then their evaluations just are right there for that gambling mentality. And then, you know, human psychology, how do people switch from the gambling mentality that they've produced on these evaluations to a non-gambling mentality on the PAs? You know, it's a conundrum. That's what I'd say. In any case, I had a gambling mentality today. I took 10 trades today. You can see for the week, terrible, 8 and 10 for the whole week, 44%. Today, 5 and 5, 50%, terrible. Overall, you know, my trading percentage has gone down 3% in the last few days. So, you know, I think this is generally what happens during the 90% sale for me. My trading win rate goes down, and then I take it more seriously when I can't buy new accounts for you know, $16. And that's just the reality. So let's get into it. I'm not going to go over all the trades in true depth or detail like I typically do, but I'm going to talk about why I didn't take the orb today. And then I'll just quickly run through these trades because literally none of these trades are having much of anything to do with my typical strategy. So today was just really off the grid as far as my style of trading and the kind of trading I actually did today. So let's take a look. All right, so here we go here. So just looking at the day when I started in the morning, let's see here. So it's about to open. So, you know, as we can see here, you know, it's just steady uptrend in the overnight. And really, you know, I hadn't kept this in mind, but, you know, there was the NVIDIA news earnings report yesterday. By the way, I came back and actually traded the earnings report yesterday off stream. Just happened to be available to do it, and so I turned the computer on and just took a shot at it. I don't know why I did it with evaluation 47, but for whatever reason I chose evaluation 47 at the time. I think it was the last account out of the ones I had from yesterday. And as you can see here, my balance is 56,880. I took that trade. Actually, let's take a look at it real quick. All right, here we go. So, yeah, I took this on evaluation 47. As you can see, it's in admin mode down here. And like I said, 56,880 balance, but is in admin mode. And that's because, well, I don't know why. It's because I gambled and took a chance on an earnings. And I basically, it looks like I got slippage probably as the entry was a little bit lower than where I probably had the order. And what did I do? Oh, great. Let me find this. So I don't know, maybe it was a little bit lower where it actually entered me, but you know, it looks like it filled me and it filled my order for the profit target. Made 6,880, like I said, on the profit. But when I looked at the account at the Rhythmic Trader, it was in admin mode. So, you know, the whole thing froze. You know, I did just, you know, it's an evaluation. So I did put the OCO order on both sides, and the short triggered first, obviously. And the whole thing froze. So as soon as the earnings report hit, I guess, like I couldn't see any movement. I saw some numbers moving here and over here, and then it closed and it was green. But like I said, it was in admin mode. Obviously, I'm not going to argue over it. I know there was rhythmic problems yesterday that they reset some accounts. This wasn't in the window where they were resetting accounts. And, you know I'm taking a gamble doing that. I know I'm risking the $16 I spent on the account. and I thought it paid off, but it didn't. And no complaints. I took a shot at it. I've still not ever had any luck trying to do something like that to pass an account in a single trade. And still no luck. So that was unfortunate. But anyway, so we had the earnings. And let's get back to the open that I was going to talk about here. All right, so here we go. So we had that earnings play, and then obviously overall Nvidia killed it. Huge rip up in the overnight. And so when I started my day, I was looking at this and I was just saying to myself, okay, well, if I take it from here and I measure to here, and then I go to the lowest point, this is what I was saying. I was saying, okay, so I got a measured move up here. That's kind of my expectation. So when this thing started selling off here, strong rip up, I just was thinking to myself, okay, well, we're probably going to retest these highs, right? That was what I had in mind. And so considering that, let's see here. Which candle is this? So this is what it looked like. I wasn't really considering the short. We had a close outside the Bollinger. And so I was kind of thinking, okay, we had a close outside, so probably this thing rips up, at least to the other side of the Bollinger. And so I was getting ready for a long play, but I just really wasn't sure. I moved it way out of the way because I didn't know if I wanted to be like here or here or here. I just wasn't really sure. So I was waiting for the long possibility. And then, oh man, what did I just do? Yeah, so I was looking for the long possibility, and then this thing pushed down, and then it just ripped, right? So at that point, I just never found a way to enter a trade, and really, it's like there's a ton of possibilities for going short, and but I just stayed out of all of this, and then I just really didn't see anything that I was liking for just multiple reasons. I just was watching the market and just not liking anything. So here, let me switch back to my other account. So here we go. So I just decided at a certain point, like, you know what, like today's the day to just take chances and try things. And so I wasn't seeing any setups that I was liking according to how I typically trade. There was a short here that I had considered, but it's really interesting. I had a flashback to a trade not that long ago, like a week or two ago, that did exactly the same thing. Like there was a huge bull market, came all the way back down. It came like this close to closing the gap at the previous day close. And then it came up short, and it presented a second entry short that looked just like this. This is before I had the Bollingers. And I took that trade, it entered me in, and it ripped against me, just like this ripped, but it didn't even go this far. This possibly could have given me a decent scalp, but it didn't even do it that time. And so I was considering this trade. And I was like, no, I remember that. I'm not going to take it because if it comes up shy of being able to close the gap, when it tried once, it tried twice, it tried 3 times, I was like, probably not. So this was an interesting one because I probably would have had my take profit right around the midline of the Bollinger. That's kind of what I was trying today. And you see it came up just shy. Now, based on when it came up just shy the other day of my profit target, maybe I would have moved to break even. Maybe I would have figured out a way to take profit just where I could when I saw it starting to bounce back up. Or maybe it would have turned into a loss, who knows. But I avoided that. And then at a certain point, just when I was seeing all this, I was like, okay, this looks like a strong trend up. And what I was thinking was, okay, well, if I measure this well, first of all, there's the first leg, second leg. We did that beyond that. But then I was thinking, well, if this is one leg, maybe we'll get something like this. And this just looked like a strong trend up, right? So I've been observing the Bollinger, and I have this idea of when you get a bullish, if you're going long, you get a bullish bar that closes right on the Bollinger to enter the next bar when it goes above. This kind of is similar to how I was trading my NLTS strategy back in like September to December last year. Totally different indicators, but similar, trying to play the momentum. Well, I didn't enter it till all the way up here. I don't know what I was doing. I messed up. I think I tried to enter once. I messed it up, and then I didn't enter it till all the way up here to chasing it. Took a loss. Don't know where to put a stop necessarily when I'm doing this. If I had a wider stop, it would have worked out. As you can see, I just, I kept a pretty tight stop. And I think the idea was right here, but really my signal bar should have been this bar. Like I should have been in, just above this bar. And if I had done that, I would have had plenty of room for like what I'm going for is basically 5 points. This went like 12 points. So, or not, I measured from the wrong place. This went from here. So this went, almost 12 points, right? So if I had entered in where I had been testing it out and observing, I would have had an easy win there for about 5 points. So I think I just entered late on this one. Again, these trades are very experimental. I don't have any data or back testing, just short-term observing. And so I'm not saying for anyone to try to trade this way. This is just an observation that I'm making. I'm not teaching Bollinger Bands. This is brand new to me, and I'm just trying to see if I can find a way to use them to my benefit. This was kind of the same idea. Really, the trade should have been here. Got the bullish bar closing on the upper band. And so when it goes above, this should have been my entry. And if I had entered there, ultimately plenty of room, even to here, plenty of room for me to get 5 points. So those could have been 2 wins, but I entered way late. I didn't enter until all the way up here. So, and I actually entered after a close outside of the band. And when there's a close outside the band, it usually comes back in the band. So I think both of those trades, I just messed them up for what I'm trying to do with them. Not good trades. This trade here, and so by the way, so at this point I was down pretty big between, on both accounts. This trade here, there was a first entry and a second entry above an inside bar and a doji. But what I liked about it was off the previous day high, which is a CLO line. And this was just a pure speculation play that we had been at the bottom of the Bollinger and I was expecting to go back to the top of the Bollinger. And so that coupled with a second entry, even though not a great looking second entry, I decided to take a shot at it because of this potential support here. And that was good. Got a win on that one. What'd I get? 4.25 points on that. And so that brought my accounts back a little bit. And then this was the same kind of idea as this last trade. There was a first entry short here and then a second entry short below this candle. And we had reached the top of the Bollinger. And so my thought process was, well, we'll come back down to the bottom of the Bollinger. And so but I wanted to take profit at the midline above the EMA. And that one I got like 2 points, I think, 21, 25, about 2 points on that. So decent, but again, it's just pure speculative trade, not a trade I would typically take. Neither one of them are. This third one, or trade 5 here, what I was looking at was potentially a tight range here. And I was still thinking that we were going to make this measured move, that I measured out over here. So I was still thinking we would go higher ultimately. And so all I was trying to do here, I never do this, but pure speculation. I put a buy limit right at this support level, which is looking at, it was only tested once. And so it's a pretty weak level. And so I just tried to buy it just to see if it would go back up to the top. And it just went straight through. And then I put my stop under this bar. So it just directly took me out in an instant. Somebody was in my chat and was like, what was that? So that was, a terrible trade. Not one that I would normally take. And so at that point, I was just like, okay, well, these accounts are in real trouble, right? So I was like, I'm just going to either blow them so I can get a new 90% discounts today or bring them back. And that was the kind of mentality I was in. So this one is not even anything I don't even know what this trade is. Honestly, this was just like, hope to get lucky and it comes all the way back up here. and I get my, I rehab the accounts or blow it up. So in this case, I blew up evaluation 44. Again, this was just a close on the Bollinger, but it's not in the context of what I typically look for when I'm looking for that. And so you could see it just turned right against me and took me out of the trade, blew up that account. And what I did was I re-entered the trade. I guess I missed a... I don't know what I did. I guess I missed putting a marker on that or description. But what I did is I just reversed the trade on evaluation 43. And so, yeah, I just re-entered for the short. And what I get, my entry was 43.50. So I got, almost 13 points there. And that helped a pretty good amount, if I read that right. But you can see this, one of these is my entry, and then I exited here. And the idea too was just, okay, we went to the top of the Bollinger. So, the longs weren't going to continue to go. So I figured we come back to the bottom of the Bollinger. And I just wanted to take my profit right above it. And then, let's see. Again, here, this was just a first entry, second entry, not in the context of what I would typically take, but what I felt was we were just working down. And at this point, it just seemed like we were going to close the gap to the previous day close. So I entered here and I just took a small scalp before the midline of the Bollinger, and another 4.25 points or something like that. And sorry, I'm going through these so fast, but then trade 9, just pure speculation. We had been at the bottom of the Bollinger. We had already closed the gap and went further. And so I figured, okay, maybe it'll be like kind of a failed breakout of that area, and we'll try to retest up here. So I entered long after we got a close, not touching the Bollinger anymore. Pure speculation, got in late, and you can see it basically turned against me pretty quickly, and took my stop just below the lows here. And then at this point, I mean, this account was, the 250K account was pretty brutalized. And so I was like, okay, at this point, with this move down, I just believed like, okay, we must be going to the previous day low, which is a CLO line. So I just decided, okay, YOLO the 250. If this thing bounces up and goes back up here, then the account will be blown. I'll repurchase them for 16 each. The blown accounts today, and then I had my target down here at the previous day low, and this one slowly grinded down and went all the way to my target, and then I just started pulling my stop down pretty tight once it got to a level where I would finish green for the day. So I just kept pulling it down. I was hoping it would push all the way to where my profit target was down here, because I would have been up another 1,000 or 1,000 more, maybe 1,800 to 2,500 overall in the account. But so I saved that account, gambling mentality, and I just went over these trades in more detail than I was really originally planning on. But it's kind of interesting to just kind of look at them. And the thing I wanted to talk about, here's the live market. So we can see it's even gone further than the previous day low. But the thing I want to talk about is right at the end of the day, when I was wrapping up after this trade worked out, I realized where we were, previous day low, and what did the market do today? I was like, all day I was saying, I don't know what this market's doing today. And if you think about it, it really just took back everything from the NVIDIA earnings. And I know a lot of times it does that, but I just didn't have that in mind as far as context. If I was thinking about it, that could have been a theory I could have worked off of to maybe try to take advantage of more of the shorts. Because really, you look at this market, it had sold off, and then after the news, it pumped up, right? And then, in the new session, when the market reopened, pumped up all night. So it really just pumped up all night to take it all back during the regular session and some. Yeah. So context wise, that would have been something to have in mind. But I really just didn't recognize it or think of it at all until the very end of the day when I came out of this trade and looked at where we were and just pulled this out and was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We took back all the gains from the NVIDIA move, which happens a lot. The news pumps and then it takes it all back. I see it all the time. So in that context, it makes a lot of sense. All right, so having gone through all that, just a reminder again, 90% discount ends today at midnight. You can use this code or any other, and then we'll see what the promo is from there. So if you're interested in continuing the Apex game, then take advantage while you can, and we'll see what they do next. The 250K, I don't know when the promo price for the 250K ends, but I know that the price for the lifetime fee, if you pass it, ends the end of the month. So there's still another week for that. And let's see here. Yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to try to get back to my regular trading. I'm going to still use the Bollinger. I'm going to try to take advantage of it when I think it makes sense and try to be a little bit better about jumping in on those momentum moves at the top or bottom of the Bollingers right away. And I'll be willing to risk one account on a time on those plays, but I won't do two accounts on those trades. I'll just do one. And then game plan moving forward is I'm going to replace this 50K account and this 50K account with the 90%. So that way I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 50Ks and the 250K. And my whole goal will be pass or fail inside of the first month, which means to some degree, I'm going to have to be trading a little bit more like this to be able to have the number of trades to give myself a chance to pass as many of these as I can without going into a second month and paying renewal fees. And that's the game plan. And then if they're blown, then the next month they'll be at the 80% no matter what. At that point. So that's how I'm looking forward to moving forward. But I am going to try to, especially, I've got this account 41. It's basically one trade away with 3 contracts. So going to try to pass that with a really solid, good trade. And so I'll trade that when I see a really good, solid setup that makes sense to me. Otherwise, I'll play the 250 with a 50. And then if it's a purely speculative kind of Bollinger play, I'll just play one of the 50s by itself. And yeah, I think that's how it's going to go. So no orb today, still 87% on that, 20 and 3 overall. I could be trading the orb with the OCO, playing both sides. It would have worked today. I would have had an easy win. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. I'm trying to just play it the way I would with a PA account to kind of prove to myself that I can trade that way. So I'll have to think about that. Maybe it's worth not doing that and just doing an OCO just to try to get this one passed. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. And otherwise, yeah, just try to get back to a little bit of a better mindset, non-gambling trading mentality, but still pushing the limits for myself as much as I can. All right, I think I've definitely said it all. This was a much longer video than I was expecting to do. And I hope you had a good trading day. Definitely was a roller coaster ride of a day for the market and for me. And, I think that I was able to get out of here 5 and 5 and still be profitable. Kind of goes to show like, the negative aspect of scalping, when you're not really scalping and you're looking for levels, you can take advantage and look for bigger wins on some trades, and it can really erase the losses. And that kind of shows me that to a certain degree, which is why I'm starting to try to look for levels more than just, minimum scalps, because when you get a minimum scalp that doesn't work, trade that doesn't work, then it takes multiple trades to make up for the one win. Versus trading this way, you can be 5 and 5 and still be profitable. So also had a big drawdown on the 250K, so that helped as well, clearly, as I blew up this other account. So obviously lost $16.70 on that account, and I'll be spending that as well as another one. So $34 or whatever it is to replace 2 accounts today. All right, so you'll see me with a full lineup tomorrow of these accounts, with full drawdowns on just about every account. Yeah, on every account. And I'll see you back tomorrow. I do live stream every day, 9:25 to approximately 1:30 Eastern, and I'll be trading the open if the right conditions are there for it. And then I'll just stay on stream like I did the last 2 days. So thanks for watching. Appreciate all the likes and subs. And thanks for watching me on my journey here. And we'll see where this leads for this next month. It'll be a really interesting month for me. Follow me and see what happens next. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here.